Alright guys, I got a quick video here on some helpful tips, loadout and setting suggestions for Insurgency Sandstorm on console. I'm on the Xbox Series X. I got some gameplay here of 3 guns that I've been using that's been working well for me. I'm going to let play in the background as I go over some tips. So the first one would be, most of us are coming from Warzone or Battlefield, the AAA games, fast-paced, so this is more of a hardcore shooter. I'd probably say maybe trying out co-op and getting a feel for the game and the time to kill and the movement and everything. But if that's not your thing, like I'm not really into that either. I would definitely say start out with domination first for maybe the first couple of days, because you're already familiar with that game type and you could just focus on your gunplay. And with that, I gotta say, you definitely want to change your firing rates. That's probably one of the main things. Is I'm constantly changing my fire rates from single shot to full auto, and you do that with up on the D-pad. When you're going into buildings in tight situations or going into a hot kitchen, you always switch to full auto before going in there. You should pretty much never be in full auto when you're trying to engage someone like over 25 feet away, to be honest. I would be staying in single shot when you're looking down roads and long hallways. Single shot, it takes, with the guns I'm using, it takes 1 to 3 bullets tops to put people down. And if you are in full auto and say, you get caught in full auto, there's someone, from far away that's trying to take you out, definitely burst fire. Pretty much never hold the trigger down unless someone's coming right around the corner on you, like real fast. But anything medium to long range, never hold it down on full auto. If you have to, just burst fire it. And preferably you want to just stay in single shot on any of those engagements. Another thing would be careful for your proximity chat when you're going in there, because the other team can hear you. There's a bunch of times when, I've been in a building taking an objective, and someone puts it on proximity chat that they're about to go up the stairs or about to throw some nades, so I can kind of prepare for that. So just a heads up on that. Probably want to get used to the movement. It's a little bit more sluggish. It's not going to be as cheesy as, Warzone, sliding and jumping all over the place. So you got to be a little bit more methodical in your movement. A lot of creeping around. Be careful for your footsteps. If you're making a lot of noise, you're going to give away your position. So, you got to be a little bit more stealthy. I do have a loadout that I am going to share with you. If you are one of those run and gun or aggressive types, which you can be in this game, I'd say you got to know when to be aggressive and when to kind of be more stealthy. I've had the best luck with that. Is don't just start running and gunning, trying to run across streets. You're gonna die a lot. Which, if you're okay with that, you might get a lot of kills. You might be able to sneak up on some people, but you will die a lot playing aggressive like that. So just keep that in mind. Checking magazines often by holding X or square on PlayStation, just so you don't get caught up with low bullets in your mags. And my last tip would be, don't underestimate the grenades. So I usually put 2 different grenades on, usually like a cocktail, Molotov cocktail, and a flashbang. Flashbangs are great for stunning the objective points, running in there and killing them and taking the objective. Cocktails I use for objective denial, so throwing them in hallways, throwing them in stairways before getting the cap, which is great. Smoke grenades for smoking out a street. You need to get across the street. It's really hard to in this game with the time to kill. Smoking out rooms. And then just remember, when you see dead bodies, run over to those dead bodies and pick up the nades off them. There's a bunch of times where I go over there and I see a bunch of dead bodies on the ground. They all have nades. So I just start grabbing nades, start chucking them out the windows. And it's something I think that's overlooked a lot. So definitely keep throwing those nades. All right, so now we can move over to the settings. Now, right here under game, I take off the key hints, the vault hints. View Bob, I think that's kind of annoying with the camera bouncing around. The hints are kind of annoying because, after a while you already know how to vault and stuff. So now I keep going down here, I leave all this on. Always show compass, I put that on. So I could, especially if you're playing with some buddies, you can always call out, where people are at, southwest, northwest from me, things like that. It's pretty helpful. Always show what fire mode selection you're in. That's actually really crucial to have. I didn't have that in a lot of my gameplay at the beginning, but I find that it's really helpful, especially when, like I said, I'm changing my fire rate a lot. And then Team colors, I changed the friend color to bright yellow. I mean, this is all personal preference, really. You could kind of change the schemes on how you want it. And then pretty much everything else is default. Now moving over to controls. That's all default. Auto, you don't want auto lean on. So I'm rolling the standard controller layout, and I tried modern because that seemed to be closer to other games that I've played. Pickup weapon is X and interaction is X, but also reloads X. And I noticed that when I'm in there with a bunch of dead bodies and I'm trying to reload and things are getting hectic in there, I start picking guns up off the ground, and it's just bad news. So I stayed with standard, and I'm just kind of getting used to it. I turned up the look sensitivities just a little bit. This is out of scope here to 1.6 and 1.2. That it made my movement feel less sluggish. I might actually turn that up a little bit more because it doesn't really affect your aiming, because when you're aiming, that's what's affected down here. So I'm keeping the dual zone. I've tried the other ones like exponential, linear, dynamic. I've tried them all, and it just doesn't feel right. So I'm keeping dual zone. 0.7, I've just I turn these up a hair just to give me a little bit. I might keep turning them up the more I play, but this is what's working for me right now. This is all default sensitivities here. Everything's default all the way down. Keeping dead zones low because I got a new controller. And then hopping over to video. Gamma's fine. My picture's fine. Field of view, you might want to go higher on that. This will help you be able to see more on your screen on the left and right side especially. So this is huge right here. I might actually go to 100, but for now I'm liking it on 90. I would take motion blur off. It's just a nuisance. It doesn't help you at all. And then dismemberment on, that's kind of a personal preference thing. And then audio, I'm going headphones because I'm using Turtle Beaches. And then you can pretty much put the volume to what, however you like it. All right, and now on to the loadouts. So I'm making these loadouts in Domination, the game type I recommended playing at the beginning. I am gonna make a new video with loadouts for all the other classes and the other game types, but we're gonna stick right here with Domination. This is the default Fragger class, and you can make loadouts inside of that Fragger class. So we're going with the aggressive loadout first, using the AS Val. This thing is like a laser, mainly for in-your-face, close-range combat though. Doesn't do nearly as well in long-range fights. I'm going with the one-time scope here, and the reason why is because it doesn't really obstruct your vision going through, close quarters, hallways, and things like that. But also be careful with taking these 2x by 1x scopes, these variable scopes, because I don't know if it's a bug or if someone has a way to bypass this, let me know in the comments. But when you're in scope and you try to lean to the right and you click the right joystick in, it'll try to move the scope to, if you're in 2x, it'll try to put it to 1x instead of leaning. It's like I don't know if that's a bug or what, but it's really annoying. So I haven't been able to bypass it. So I've been just sticking with the regular scopes, the 1x only or the 4x only kind of a thing. So I'm going extended mag, definitely needed to get that 30 rounds in a clip, which is pretty crucial when you're trying to storm buildings and stuff and you got multiple people in there. Aiming grip is the grip you want to go, and the reason why is because being able to aim down sights faster is really crucial. I don't think that the recoil grip really helps, especially with this gun. The thing's already a laser anyways, so it would be just a waste. You want every split second that you can gain on people because the time to kill is so fast. And then M9, I feel like this is a really good sidearm here. It doesn't have much kick, decent damage. You're not really using it that much, to be honest. You're mainly just using your AS Val. Now I'm rolling 2 lethal grenades here. You can always switch this out if you want to take flashbangs. Sometimes I switch it up with flashbangs and Molotov cocktails or smokes and flashes. It all depends. It mainly depends on what you're taking down here. Are you going to take light carrier? That's what I like to go. I feel like I don't need heavy carrier. And then armor. On this class, I haven't been rolling it because I want as much speed as possible to be aggressive. So I've been taking no armor. The light armor helps with maybe 1 bullet or maybe a little bit of shrapnel. It helps you, but it's not a big difference. So if you want to, you can take a flash and a cocktail, and then now you can take that 1 light armor. You could also mix it up like that. And then gas mask, that's always helpful to have. I would get used to wearing it. And then that's pretty much it for the AS Val. All right, so now on to the MK17 Mod 0. This 7.62 caliber. This thing puts people down 1 to 3 shots guaranteed. I always go the 1.5 times scope on this one. I feel like it's perfect. The compensator, I've been using it just because I've been playing around with burst firing on full auto at a little bit longer ranges, and it's been helping. But I don't think it's 100% needed, and it's actually probably better if you don't use it, get used to it without it. And then I pretty much go aiming grip on every gun. I like that split second increase to be able to get that shot off on people. Then going extended mag, I like being able to put more bullets down range before having to reload. M9, that's my trusty sidearm there. Going frags and flash again here. Light carrier, I do go light armor on this one, but sometimes I take it off and I add another lethal. You kind of just have to play with that, see how you like it. And then gas mask, I've been running gas mask a lot. It's good for objective game types. All right, now we're on to the G3, which is probably one of my favorite here. Going the same scope as I did on the MK, compensator, aiming grip, pretty much the same setup. The G3 is really close to the MK. I'd say the MK probably might be a little bit stronger. It puts people down just a fraction of a second faster, but I feel like the G3 is a little bit easier to handle, so it's a little bit of a trade-off there. Then I'm going same M9, still, you know, you're not using sidearms that often in this game. Then I'm going frags, cocktails. Then we're going light carrier, light armor, and then gas mask again. So that's gonna wrap up this tip video for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.